Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Today, we are in a streets raid, going for Shooterborn. We got one of them spawns where, you just got to push the other spawn because it's the best thing to do. It's the best way to get PvP in the raid right off the rip like that. You know where people are going to be. We had a PMC coming right up the ramp here. I know I'm not moving, but you know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. He ends up getting pretty close, a little too close for me, because if I whiff that shot, I am in some serious trouble. But thankfully, I didn't whiff the shot. Yes, we are going to play a little bit slow here because this is one of the hottest spots to start out in streets. There's so many different places that people spawn and kind of look here and push in this area. And we ended up seeing another guy over here. I whiffed that shot, and I needed to be very careful with where I put myself because I knew he would peek again. That time we got him. He wasn't so fortunate to make it out that time. And like always, again, like I said, you just got to be really careful about this area because there's so many people here. They come out of the woodworks pushing the spawns looking for kills. Now I know you guys couldn't hear it, but he shot at me and missed, and then of course I missed wide right there. So then I ended up knowing that I needed to get out of there because he could have got so many different angles on me from there. It was just a really bad spot for me to be in once my cover was blown and they knew where I was at. So I decided to go back out, rotate around, started doing some insurance fraud and grabbed the first homie's gear that I ended up getting. And we always nade push, especially when we have no clue where they are or the directions they are. So then we nade pushed over, forgot the PK, so we PK'd while we were here. Then we started getting shot across from like Lexos area. I wasn't sure if that was homie that rotated over or not. I took a second to make sure. I cleared the building before I pushed out. Then I heard somebody to my right, straight down the hall there. Ended up getting a couple shots on him. I felt like those shots were pretty good, but I knew he wasn't dead. So what do? We just spam with nades. I mean, at this point, he's got a pretty good vantage point on me. I did get a task, sub-task completed when I threw that first nade, so I was pretty confident I got him. I'm not really sure what the sub-task was for, to be honest with you, but you never know if there's a second, so we just kept throwing nades, and we never knew that we actually got him for sure until we ended up getting a little bit closer here, and we saw his body laying there. We did end up going in the back there, in that back room, just to ensure that there was nobody hiding back here. Because like I said, you just never know. You never know if there's a second. Because in Tarkov, there's always more than one. Thankfully, in this time, there was not more than one. So we decided to quick loot him. But keep in mind that first guy that started shooting at me from over at Lexos. Because right about here, we start getting involved in a gunfight with him. And this guy was an absolute Chad. I mean, this was one really good solid fight. I got a couple really good shots on him right there to start out as he pushed over. You guys couldn't hear it, but he used a nade as well to cover his audio. The MK I was not familiar with. It's not a gun that I typically run ever, and I picked it up not knowing what it would be like. And the initial recoil I should say, is a little bit weird. It's a little off. And it kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop. I wasn't expecting it. And he was kind of at like a weird position as far as distance goes. He was a little bit too far for me to be on the 3X, but then a little bit too close for me to be zoomed in. Like, I don't know. It was just like a weird in between. So he ended up getting me an absolute Giga Chad. Stopped into his stream later on. We did end up scavving back into the raid, got the loot. I looked for the guy who got him, but I couldn't find him either. So we at least ended up getting the loot. GG's, guys. Thanks for watching.